Everyone has that one woman in their life, the one who used to say yes to everything, every dinner, every birthday, every group chat plan, the one who showed up even when she was exhausted, even when she didn't want to, even when staying home would have been the honest answer. And then, one day, quietly, she stopped. She started canceling, started going quiet, started choosing her couch over your invitation, and everyone started whispering, "Is she okay? Is she depressed? Did something happen to her?" Nothing happened to her. She just finally came home to herself. Today, we're breaking down 6 reasons why women over 40 who love staying home aren't withdrawing from life. They're finally living it. And reason number 4, that's the one that explains why the people closest to her are often the most unsettled by it. Reason 1, her nervous system is finally speaking the right language. Picture this. She gets home from work, or from a family dinner, or just from running errands in a crowded store on a Saturday afternoon. She walks through the door, puts her bag down, and exhales fully, for the first time all day. Most people would say that's just tiredness, that she needs to push through it, get out more, stay socially active, or she'll lose her edge. Wrong. Research on high-sensitivity nervous systems shows that women, particularly after 40, often carry an extraordinary capacity to absorb emotional data. Every conversation, every unspoken tension in a room, every shift in someone's tone, every facial expression that doesn't quite match the words being said. They process all of it, constantly, automatically, without even choosing to. By the time she gets home, she's not tired in the way someone is tired after a long run. She's full, saturated. Her nervous system has been doing invisible work all day that most people around her never even notice, and home is the only place where that processing can finally stop. This isn't introversion, it's not shyness, it's not social anxiety. It's a nervous system that has been running at capacity and finally found the one environment where it doesn't have to. You're not antisocial, you're full, and full is not the same as broken. Reason 2, she stopped performing and it looks like isolation from the outside. For most of her 20s and 30s, she showed up. Every event, every plan, every obligation wrapped in the language of fun. Not always because she wanted to, but because the social cost of not showing up felt too high. The follow-up questions, the concern, the slight shift in how people looked at her if she said no too many times. So she said yes, and she smiled while she said it. And she was good at it, good enough that nobody ever questioned whether it was costing her anything. Now people say she's changed, that she become distant, that she's not the same person she used to be. Wrong. Psychologists describe something called the performance tax, the invisible emotional cost of constantly managing how others perceive you, adjusting your energy to match the room, softening your opinion so nobody feels challenged, laughing at the right moments, being warm and available and easy even when you feel none of those things. Women carry this tax at a disproportionate rate across both their professional and personal lives. And by 40, many of them have been paying it for 2 decades straight without a single break. What looks like withdrawal from the outside is actually the first real exhale she's taken in years. She's not becoming someone different. She's becoming less of a performance and more of a person. She didn't become distant. She became honest. Reason 3. Her home is the only place where she doesn't have to manage anyone else's emotions. Think about what she's actually doing when she's out. Not just the visible thing, not just having dinner or attending the event. Think about what's happening underneath that. How much of her mental energy is going toward reading the room, toward noticing that one person is upset and figuring out if she caused it, toward softening what she says so someone else doesn't feel criticized, towards being the one who smooths things over when the conversation gets tense. People call that being socially aware, being a good friend, being considerate. Wrong, or at least not the whole story. Women with high emotional sensitivity don't just notice social cues the way other people notice them. They feel a sense of responsibility for them. If someone in the room is uncomfortable, something in her moves towards fixing it. If there's conflict, something in her works to dissolve it. This isn't a choice she's making consciously. It's a pattern that was shaped over years of being the person in the room who held things together. Studies on emotional labor consistently show that women perform the vast majority of relational maintenance work in workplaces, in friendships, and families. The listening, the remembering, the checking in, the keeping the peace. It is real work. It costs real energy, and almost none of it gets acknowledged as work because it's invisible. Home is the one environment where she can stop scanning, stop adjusting, stop being the emotional regulator for everyone else in the room. Not because she doesn't care, but because she finally has a space where nobody needs her to. You're not selfish for needing somewhere you're off duty. You've been on duty long enough. Reason number 4. The people who are most worried about her are often the ones who benefited most from her availability. Here's something nobody says out loud. When a woman over 40 starts choosing home, starts saying no, starts going quiet, starts building a life that doesn't revolve around everyone else's comfort, the people who react the most strongly are rarely strangers. It's not acquaintances who barely know her, it's the people closest to her. And the narrative that emerges is always the same. She's depressed, she's isolating, something must be wrong. She needs to get out more, we're worried about her. Wrong. What's actually happening is that her boundaries are disrupting a system that worked very smoothly for a very long time, for everyone else. Her presence, her availability, her willingness to show up even when she was drained, her ability to absorb everyone else's emotional weight and still keep moving, those things had enormous value to the people around her, real, functional, daily value. And when she stopped providing them, it creates a gap that nobody knew was being filled until it wasn't. Her stillness isn't a symptom, it's a boundary with no words attached. Quick thing before the next reason. If you're nodding along right now, this channel is for people who notice things others miss. Hit subscribe. Let's keep going. Reason 5. She's not missing out, she's curating in. The culture is very loud about this one. If you're not out there, you're letting life pass you by. The highlight reels on social media, the group photos, the constant messaging that experience equals living. It all adds up to a quiet accusation directed at anyone who chooses to stay home. You're wasting your time. You're playing it safe. You're going to regret this. Most people absorb that message without ever questioning it. Wrong. Psychologists who study what they call low stimulation preference have found something that contradicts the highlight reel culture entirely. Some people are not fulfilled by more experiences. They are fulfilled by deeper ones. The woman who has been to enough parties to know exactly what they deliver, the surface-level conversation, the performance of enjoyment, the exhaustion disguised as fun, has earned her right to choose differently. She's not afraid of the party. She's been to the party. She knows what's there, and she's chosen something quieter and more honest instead. That's not fear. That's a woman who has gathered enough data about her own life to make an informed decision about how she wants to spend it. You're not missing out. You've just stopped pretending that every outing fills you up when you already know that it doesn't. Reason 6. Home became her sanctuary because the world kept asking her to be someone else. Here's the one that doesn't get said. For a lot of women over 40, the love of staying home didn't start as a preference. It started as a recovery, a slow, quiet recovery from years of being asked, directly or indirectly, to be a slightly different version of herself depending on who was in the room. Smaller in some spaces, warmer in others, more agreeable here, less direct there. Always adjusting, always translating herself into a version that was easier for someone else to receive, and doing it so well for so long that she almost forgot there was an original version underneath all the adjustments. People see her choosing home now and think she gave up, she stopped trying, she's hiding. Wrong. She built something. Psychologists describe what they call autonomous space, the psychological need for an environment where your identity isn't up for negotiation, where you don't have to calibrate yourself to anyone else's comfort, where the version of you that exists in quiet, the one that is not performing, not managing, not adjusting, is the only version required.
For a woman who spent decades negotiating her identity in every other space she occupied, home is the first place where she has ever been allowed to exist as she actually is, unedited, unadjusted, completely herself. She didn't give up on the world, she gave herself permission to stop auditioning for it. If you recognized yourself in 3 or more of these, you're not depressed, you're not antisocial, you're not broken or difficult or too sensitive or too much. You are a woman who finally stopped performing peace and started actually living it, who stopped showing up out of obligation and started staying home out of wisdom. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. You noticed the pattern, and that's not paranoia, that's perception. Drop a number in the comments. Which reason hit the hardest for you? Let's see how many of us are out here living quietly and living well.
If this is your first video here, this channel is for people who notice things others miss, about the people around them, about the patterns underneath the surface. Subscribe for more. And if you'd rather read than watch, I write a weekly newsletter. No fluff, just patterns worth seeing. Link in the description. You showed up for decades. You read every room. You managed emotions that were never yours to carry. You said yes when you meant no. You made yourself smaller so others could feel bigger. And then, one day, you came home. Not as a hiding place, not as a surrender. As proof that you finally know yourself well enough to stop performing for everyone else. You're not paranoid. You're perceptive. Thank you.